Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Beast Wars Optimus Primal, and I love this toy. I mean, check this guy out right here. He's a big silverback gorilla, and he looks awesome. Released in 1997 for about 20 bucks. He was about $19.99 at original sale. I believe that this was the first time we were introduced to the Ultra Class toy. This is definitely an Ultra Class. I think it was the first time that we saw that class. I'm sure if I'm wrong, you are going to go down in the comments and let me know. So, yeah, let me know if I'm wrong on that. But I do believe that was the first time we got an Ultra Class. So, there he is. This guy is so awesome. Here he is in his silver, like I said, silverback gorilla mode. And in this mode, he's approximately 6 inches tall. Not much to look at other than that. He's got good posability. He's got some robot bits that stick out, but that's no big deal. He looks like a silverback, and he looks awesome. Now this guy is just loaded with gimmicks and weapons, and we're gonna get to that here in a second. Here in Beast Mode, he really only has one gimmick. If you take his arms and you kind of just bend him at the elbows here. This is so awesome. I love this gimmick so much. He's got a lever here in the back, and if you pull this lever up and out, and you fold his at the elbows there, you can take this lever and just flip it up and down, and he's going to start doing this. There we go. He's going to start pounding on his chest like a gorilla would, and I just think that's so funny and so cool. And insert your favorite Donkey Kong Country soundbite right there. I just think that's so cool. So there you go. There's the gimmick. I mean, put the lever back away so that we can move the arms around. And now there was another release of this guy. Let's see. This guy was released 1997. Then there was the 10th anniversary, which came out in 1996. Yeah, you do that math. Anyway, here he is, the 1996 10th anniversary Optimus Primal, and for the most part, the same exact toy. Everything is identical on this guy. Same gimmick. You can see the lever right here on the back. He'll do the chest pounding, and he'll do the gimmick that he does in robot mode. We'll get to that when we get to the robot. But right off the bat, you can see the most glaring difference is the paint job. Where the original was black, the newer one is more of a silver color. It's a little more realistic looking to what an actual silverback would look like. And then the face, the gorilla face here, looks more, it's sculpted to look more like the animated model did. So those are the differences there. You go. There's the original, and there's your 10th anniversary. So we'll move 10th anniversary over, and we're going to get into transformation. Transformation, really simple, but really effective. It gets a lot done. So we're going to start here with the legs. And we're pretty much just going to take a gorilla, just stand him up. It doesn't take a lot to go from a humanoid into another humanoid, but we'll take the legs, we'll straighten them out, okay? And I'm going to take the arms and straighten these guys out as well. Just get them out of the way for now. And now, if you look here, if you go down here to the toes, you'll see the monkey toes. It's got little fingernails sculpted in there and hair and all that. That's really super cool, but we're going to take those, we're going to flip them around. And these are not his robot toes. These are actually his heels. You take the whole thing here and flip it around at the waist. And you can see some of the robot bits are starting to show up now. And these are going to be his robot toes. So pull these forward and down. And there you go. Now you got yourself some robot toes. Stand the figure up. I'm going to adjust this camera a little bit there. There you go. Now, take the arms, straighten them out. Just like so. Take these shoulder pads here and just pop them up like so. These are going to just exactly that. Shoulder pads. There you go. Now, you're going to take the gorilla head. You're going to take the whole head and pop it forward. And then you're going to get about halfway down. You're going to take the gorilla face and just spin it around. That's going to make the robot chest. Bring the whole thing down. And then you bring the robot head forward. Now, you'll notice that what we're looking at here does not look like Optimus Prime or Optimus Primal or any iteration that we know. And that's because these original Beast Wars figures, they came with what was called a battle mask or a mutant mask, or they call them different things in different places, but that's what you got. They had like these masks. They weren't included in the show. They were only part of the toy line thing. So what you can do here is you can actually, these were made to be removable or to hide. So in Optimus's case, what you would do here is turn the head to the side like so, and take the mask, and it rotates all the way to the back of his head. Then if you bring that up and straighten his head around, now you can take this mask and just flip it all the way back, and it's out of the way, and you barely even see it. You barely even know it's there. So there you go. And that's how you take care of the mask. And now you've got Optimus Primal with a very familiar face. There you go. That looks awesome. I just think that is one of the best Optimus head sculpts ever. That thing is so freaking cool. I love that so much. Now, it's not exact to the show. He didn't have the mouth plate up on the show a whole lot. He did it once or twice. It's kind of the way they introduced this whole battle mask thing. Whenever typically Optimus would have his mouth would be showing, and then whenever they would fight, the mouth plate would just come up and cover him up. That was I think that was introduced in Beast Wars. So, but for the toy, we got the mouth plate, and I just think that looks so cool. Now, I mentioned that this guy is armed to the teeth, and he's got all kinds of weapons and gimmicks. So let's get to that. If you look in the back of the what is now the robot here, what used to be the gorilla butt, you're going to notice there's a button here, and if you press that button, he's going to have, and I'm trying to do this carefully, but I think, yeah, these are going to pop off anyway. But anyway, if you press that button, boom, you're going to get these two missiles that come out. And right next to where the missiles were, you had one on each side. There's these swords that store right here. And it's a cool gimmick, but it's almost impossible to deploy these missile launchers without popping those swords off. It's like almost impossible. So I just wanted to show you real quick where those store, and now I'm going to take them out. So that way they're not falling and flopping all over the place. But anyway, so yeah, we hit the button on the back, and two shoulder-mounted missiles came out and forward, and there he is. He's ready to blow off your face. These missiles, these launchers have buttons at the top, one there and one there, and when you press those are spring-loaded, and those shoot off. They shoot off pretty good. So there you go. There's one. There's two. There's the missiles. I love that. This guy, he comes with 4 missiles. 2 you can keep stored in the missile launchers right there on his back. The other 2, there are two little holes back here behind the battle mask. There are 2 holes where you can actually store the other missiles. Now, I typically don't store, yeah, see there, going all the way in there, and you can just pop them right out just like that. I typically don't store them there because when I keep them, I display this guy on the shelf, I have the battle mask pushed all the way back, just like you're seeing right now. And if you have the missiles in there, then the battle mask won't go all the way back. So I typically just have the 2 in the launchers, and I don't put any back there. But you can store them whichever way you wish. Now, gimmicks, we're going to get back to the swords you saw. There's the swords that's stored back here next to the launchers. And you can give him now he can double wield these swords, which is totally badass. That is just so cool. He can have 2 swords just like that, or he can double wield them in one hand and make, I don't really know what you would call this, but it would cut you up is what it would do. And I think that's just so cool. And I'm going to leave that there for a minute because I'm getting to something here. This arm here, he's still got more weapons and gimmicks hidden away. This guy's just armed to the teeth. If you take his right arm here and you pop this open, you're going to find there's a skull right in there. Okay, and this thing, you can pop this thing out, and this is actually a mace. So you take this guy out, close his arm back up, and just look at that. This thing just looks mean and nasty and evil. I wish I would have used this on the show. You see there's a little blue handle right there on the back. You take that, you pull that out. It's got a little string. So now you've got yourself a little battle mace here you can do some damage with. So I'm going to put this in his hand, and I'm going to try something here, and this is probably going to be a mess, but let's see what happens. If you remember the gimmick that we did at the beginning here, where he was pounding his chest with, well, if we're going to take his arms, and I'm going to put them to the front like this, okay? Now, on his, I guess this would be his tricep, there's a switch. And right now, both of these switches are facing towards his fist. They're facing, I'm going to say they're down towards his fist. Now, I'm going to flip them up towards his shoulder, both of these. Okay, there's one, and there's the other. And I'm going to go back to, back around the back here again, and I'm going to pop off his little lever, and I'm going to load his gimmick. Now, instead of pounding into his chest, what he's going to do now is his forearm, his entire arms are just going to spin. So I don't know if this is going to work. This may or may not work on camera. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, there you go. That's working. And yeah, he's ready to do some serious damage to the Predacons here. Nobody get in my way. I will mess you up and tear off your face. So that's just so cool. I absolutely love that gimmick. That is awesome. So let's put that lever back. Let's turn that off again. You just pop the lever back in like so, and it kind of turns it off. Turns off the little gimmick. So take that off and take this off, because we're not done. No, sir. We have still more weapons and gimmicks. It's incredible. I am so amazed with this toy and how much they managed to just cram into this guy. It's so cool. So we opened up this arm. We found the maze. So let's open up this arm and see what we find here. If you remember on the show, his arms would open up to reveal cannons, and this guy is no different. You press that, you flip that open, and now you've got yourself a cannon. How cool is that? Now, these cannons, if you remember, I told you that there's 2 missiles that store in the back on his shoulder-mounted launchers, and then there would be the other 2 missiles that would store right here behind his head. Well, you could take those missiles, and they're the exact same as the ones that launch, that store in the back here. It's 4 exact identical missiles, so it doesn't matter which ones you use. But you can take these missiles and just plug them right in there, as soon as I orient them properly. And you can plug these guys right into his arm-mounted cannon there. And there's the buttons right there on the back side. And you press these guys. There's 1. There's 2. They launch pretty good. You saw there's a lot of force behind those guys. So this guy is just loaded with weapons and gimmicks, and it's amazing how much they managed to get into this one figure without really compromising the look of it. So, you know, this is just an amazing toy. I really, really love this guy. Now, in robot mode, he stands about 8 inches tall at the head, just a little bit taller if you want to count this little canopy thing in the back here. That's almost 9 inches, I suppose. So take that into consideration when you're planning your display. So let's. We took a look at the 10th anniversary one in the gorilla mode. Let's compare him real quick to his cousin in robot mode. And here he is right here. Here's his 10th anniversary cousin. And as you can see, like I said earlier, it's pretty much the same toy. Just some changes that were made, mostly in the paint job. Now, you'll notice that this guy's head sculpt is completely different. This guy's got a completely different head. He doesn't have the battle mask thing anymore. And he's got a completely different sculpt on the head now. And this guy is very, very reminiscent of the actual animation model. You know, he's got the exposed mouth, he's got the double antennas, he's got this guy looks exactly like the animation model did, which is really cool. They also changed the chest plate here. If you notice, those are 2 completely different chest plates. And well, basically, the 10th anniversary one is as close to the animation model as you're going to get. Everything else is the same. He's got the launchers in the back. He's got the lever on the back here, so you can make the arms pound or spin just like the other one. He's got the 2. You can see the 2 missiles. I actually keep those stored on the back on this one because there's no battle mask to get in the way. But they're pretty much the same exact toy. Both of these guys are. And so, yeah, there it is. I absolutely love this toy. Either version, if you can get your hands on either one of these guys, I highly recommend that you do. These guys are awesome. And I think that about covers Beast Wars Optimus Primal. Make sure you comment, leave your comments, subscribe, share if you like what you're seeing. And until next time, thanks for watching. That's Just Prime.